come the little round cylinder of brand MCM. It's a Spanish brand and I got this lock from Carlos. Yeah, Tallan Pick, thank you very much for this interesting lock. He sent me a couple of MCM locks, all of different shapes, and they pick fairly easy, and this one as well, but this shows a very interesting property. So let me clamp it in a vise and I will show you what I mean. First I'll show you the key, and this gives you maybe a hint of what comes next. You can see that's a pretty interesting bitting, very short key pins at position 3 and 4, and yeah, pretty good bitting actually with a very long key pin in the front, but it's a very wide open keyway, so you won't have any trouble picking it. And when using the key, if you just stick in the key, the lock won't work, but you have to lift it up a little bit and then it turns nice and smoothly. So this is a used lock, and I believe from many times of sticking in the key and pulling it out, this very high portion of the key has probably worn the first key pin a lot. So you have to lift the key and then it turns. So you can see it turns nicely left and right, no problem. But when you pick it, this can be different. So let's give it a try. I use a tension wrench here at the bottom to protect the brass. So that's one. So 3 is really solid and I leave it alone. Now I'm on 4. 5. That was an overset. So that was 1. That was 2. And now it's picked, but it doesn't turn any further than that. So, oops, it was reset. But you have seen it, it doesn't turn any further than maybe an eighth of a circle. Now I want to try to pick it so that it can turn all the way around. So I really have to take care to set pin 3. I have to turn the plug back, and now I think I set 3. That's 2. That's 1. 4 doesn't want to move, so I have to turn back the plug. Let's see if 3 is still picked. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3 is solid. I have to really turn back the plug, so now I could get started with 3 and could get started with all the other pins. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Now 3 is set. 2, 1, 4, 5. And now you can see it turns nicely all around. Not just an eighth of a turn. And I think this is because the key pin in number 3 is so short that if you don't pick it, actually including the driver, you get an almost clear shear line. It might stick out a little bit so that it turns hard when you start rotating the plug, but it's just an assumption. Let's see when we open up the lock what the pins will tell us. Now it's coming. Okay, here is the clip off. Nasty clip. Alright, I have a key. So let's turn it. and there is a gap, but I doubt that there are other pins beside of standard pins, so I give it a try. Yep, that should be fine. And yeah, here is the plug. Bit dirty. Yeah, all pins are in and working. I leave the pins in because I wanna put the drivers in the plugs in the chambers as well. So let's get them out. So that's one. Oh, this is interesting. The spring is inside the hollow part of the driver. Oops. So these are tiny springs. Put it around here. So I don't know why they have the springs in these holes. So this is almost clearing the shear line at 2. Now let's check 3. Oh, this is that's the poor mangled spring from my turning attempts. So I believe now we can see that 3 is, I think it's below the shear line. Yes, you can see it's below the shear line, and as the spring is attached in this hole here, you can see how, yeah, you can see how I damaged the spring by forcing the plug to turn. Oh, and that clears the shear line just perfectly. Oh, and again here we have, oops, here we have a spring that doesn't look original. So that was the spring from 4. I also destroyed it a little bit, and 5 should be okay. So that's the spring from 5. And here we have the driver. So that's how it looks like. You can see 1 and 2 are okay, 5 is okay, 3 is below the shear line, and 4 is just right at the shear line. Okay, let's complete the picture by dumping all these pins out. Let's have a close look to the plug. Actually a pretty nice plug. Round, smooth, no flattening on the top. Brass plug, very nice. The pins, with standard pins in all chambers. We have tiny springs which go in the holes of these driver pins. Really don't know why this is an advantage to have hollow drivers, but that's the way they made it. Yeah, that's how it looks like. You can see how much this spring goes in the hollow part of the driver. Very funny. Alright, this was a little fun MCM lock sent to me by Tallan Pick. Buddy, thanks again for the interesting lock. So, yeah, everybody else, thank you very much for watching. Happy picking and bye bye.